Good morning, happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody had an outstanding weekend. I tell you what, it was hot. It was hot. I was out in the parking lot for like 8.5 hours, just sweating. I have a side hustle, which is selling my body. No, I'm just kidding. That's a complete joke, but I do have a small business that I run, and I had to be in a parking lot for 8.5 hours for that event, and it went well. I had a lot of help from family and friends, so if you were there, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am a terrible salesman, but I have people that are very close to me that are very good at it. So thank you once again for your support. Also, I'm up to 350 subscribers here on YouTube, so thank you, my fellow patriots. I really appreciate it. Now, the story of the day. Rachel Maddow, if you know who that is, which I'm sure you do. She's from MSNBC, right? She had another meltdown on her show, and in my opinion, I think they do these meltdowns on purpose because they want to reach the emotional thinkers, not the logical thinkers, right? And their audience is dwindling down, and I find that quite funny. I mean, people are starting to wake up. I mean, it's insane, all the things that these people say, but they have their catchphrases, fascist, dictator, authoritarianism, all stuff like that to really get the emotional thinkers rather than the logical thinkers. So yeah, stay tuned for Rachel Maddow's meltdown and some numbers, stuff like that. Roll the intro.
And, listen, you can narrow or widen the aperture as much as you want. You can look at the very big picture or the small local picture anywhere in the country. And we try to do as much of both of those things as we can every week here on this show. But whether you're looking at small-scale local stories or the biggest picture stories about what's happening in our country, the story is the same, and it is now an undeniable thing. We have crossed a line. We are in a place we did not want to be, but we are there. The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right? It's August, it's a Monday, every day the sun rises and the sun sets, and there are, sports and movies, and there are new hit songs, there are scandals here and there are crimes. There's everybody's personal quotient of family drama and health worries and money worries and falling in and out of love and in and out of faith. Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped. But also, at the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago. Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country.
Yeah, she is a very interesting person. She definitely has Trump derangement syndrome, right? I mean, does she not hear herself? She contradicts herself constantly, right? Like, everything's normal here in the United States. People are going to work, the sun rises, the sun sets, people are doing things, they're out living normal lives, but we have a dictator in office. It's contradictory, and it doesn't make any sense that they say these things. But they know that if they get emotional and say these taglines, these phrases that really upset people, that they're gonna get the empathy from these people. You know what I mean? The people that think emotionally rather than logically these people already think Trump's a dictator anyway, So saying it more is not gonna make them believe it more. They already believe it. These are the same people that vote blue no matter who. They don't care about the politics. They just hate Republicans. It is what it is. It's weird. It's very weird. But I think these people are also the ones that are walking around on autopilot all the time. Not aware of their surroundings, not aware of what's going on. They're just riding really slow in the left lane. They're the ones that don't return their shopping carts. They're the ones that leave their shopping carts in the middle of the aisle so you can't get around them. The robots, the zombies in our society. These are the people that are glued to the television and repeat the same exact words and phrases that these reporters tell them to repeat. Now she goes on to tell people how to think, right? Well, think in imaginary world what Trump is really doing here. Just think in imaginary world. Yeah, check this out.
And it sounds melodramatic to say it. I know. But just Go with that for a minute, right? Think in melodramatic terms. Think in cinematic terms. Imagine the cartoon-level caricature of what you think a dictatorship looks like. I mean, it's secret police, right? A massive, anonymous, unbadged, literally masked, totally unaccountable internal police force that apparently has infinite funding, but no identifiable leadership. And they act in ways designed to instill maximum fear and use maximum force. I mean, when you imagine an authoritarian country, right, what you imagine is masked secret police breaking people's car windows and snatching people off the streets and out of church parking lots and courtroom hallways and taking them away with no charges, no notice, no paperwork, no explanation, not letting them see lawyers, and then moving them secretly to what are effectively black site prisons, where they won't tell you who's there and where no one's allowed in to see what's going on.
Yeah, you see what she's doing here? She's making people think emotionally. She's not giving any facts or figures or who these people are arresting, because they're arresting exactly who Trump said that they would arrest, which is illegal immigrants who entered our country, who broke into our country, technically, right? And she's not giving the context of what's actually happening with these things. She's making people think emotionally, as if a dictator is the only person that enforces immigration law. Yes, and they are apparently secret police because they hide their identities, right? Now, the only reason they have to do that is because these insane liberals that they're controlled. They think emotionally, not logically, about what's happening here, right? Either that or they just don't want the law to be followed, which is interesting to think about. But they cover their faces to protect their identity because of liberal doxing, not because they feel the need to hide their identity because they're doing something criminal. No. They have to protect their identity so that these insane liberals don't dox them and don't attack their family, their friends, their whole entire life. And it's interesting that they want this stuff to stop, you know, and they want it to be monitored more harshly. Like, each and every single one of these people are not monitored and have to write reports on every single thing that they do. But that's what Democrats want you to believe. They want you to believe that there's no accountability here, that there's not pre-reports, post-reports. Everything is scrutinized to an insane level, because at this moment in time, the Democrats are trying every single thing they can to keep their voters, right? They want these people on their census, and they want these people to illegally vote in our federal and state elections. Now, she continues to talk about her fantasy world and how people should think about their melodramatic and cartoon style version of a dictatorship, and it gets worse and worse.
Right, and that kind of a cartoon caricature of an authoritarian country, the one you might have imagined in melodramatic and cinematic terms ever before we got here, you would expect, right, that you'd have a scapegoated minority group blamed for all things. In our case, immigrants, right, and the new extraordinary powers and shows of force by the secret police, among other things. All these extraordinary powers and shows of force will be framed as necessary to stop this terrible internal enemy, right? Frame everything as immigration enforcement. Because for immigration enforcement, not only is all force justified, but maximum force is preferred. And they're trying to make it into a national entertainment to threaten to feed immigrants to alligators in South Florida. Right? They're making them eat off dishes on the floor like they're dogs. The Chrome Detention Center in Florida.
Now, let's address the dog in the room here, which is migrants eating like animals in cages, right? It's comical because they always put migrants when they want you to care, right? Thinking that these are legal migrants in our country. They don't want to put illegal immigrants and tell the truth, right? And it's funny how no one cares about how American citizens are treated in jail or prison, but only illegal immigrants. They only care how they eat, how they're treated, how their holding cells are. No one gives a hoot about American citizens because, you know, in everyone's mind, they committed a crime. And for some reason, in the Democrats' mind, they think, well, these people committed no crime. This is all stolen land. You know, it's insane how these people think. But to address that first, these migrants were in holding cells and they were shackled, right? There was chairs in these holding cells, and they were given their food, and they decided to sit on the floor with the tray on the table in front of them and eat. Now, a human rights group for migrant justice, a Democrat-run group, obviously, got a hold of this story, and they talked to a couple migrants. Quote, let's see, one detainee, Hapinder Chuan, described the experience in the report. We had to put the plate on chair and then bend down and eat with our mouths like dogs. Another detainee named Pedro reportedly stated we had to eat like animals. Of course they're going to say this, and of course they're going to report it, and of course MSNBC is going to blow it out of proportion. But yeah, I love how MSNBC put it out as if these illegal immigrants were forced to get down on their hands and knees and eat like animals or eat like dogs, when that's not even near what happened. And they know most of their viewership is not going to look up what actually happened. They're just going to blindly follow, listen, and read everything that MSNBC puts out. Now, after you just watch her spew her garbage, which I ended up laughing a little bit during this clip, because you're like, how can anybody honestly report like this? Well, because it's not honest reporting. It's propaganda. It's a tactic. The more they repeat certain terms, rather than saying ICE officers, they are now starting to say secret police. Their viewers, the emotional thinkers, they're going to start repeating these sentences as well, so that the other people that think exactly like them can give them all pats on backs. You know, like, I'm smart. Look what I said. I said secret police. Look at me. I'm one of you. These people are very, very interesting. Now, what's interesting is MSNBC during primetime is doing better than CNN now. So are the people that are watching CNN moving to MSNBC, or what do you think is happening here? Now, I want to show you a very unique trend here, which it's pointing out that people that are in between the ages of 25 to 54 are more likely to watch independent journalists rather than primetime news, right? Because I think a lot of us have woken up and seen that primetime news is not news. It's propaganda, even from Fox News in some cases, right? So total viewership for Fox News during primetime from the week of the 24th of July of this year was 2,381,000, and ages 25 to 54 was only 238,000 of those people. So same trend with MSNBC. They had 923,000 viewers, and ages 25 through 54 were 91,000 of that. And CNN, which is doing terrible now during prime time, and I think we know why, but their viewership is down to 498,000, and only 79,000 people are in between the ages of 25 and 54. So the rest of these numbers are either in between the ages of 18 to 24 or 55 and up. I mean, I think we know why at a lot of these rallies, these protests that they have, the people are elderly, because they're stuck at home watching their primetime television rather than going out and looking for independent journalists. All right, and the New York Post also did an article on just the drop in viewership from CNN and MSNBC, and here it is. So MSNBC, CNN sees dramatic declines in viewership while Fox News continues to dominate. I mean, that shows you something, doesn't it? But let's continue. So Comcast owned MSNBC with its rabid anti-Trump lineup of anchors, or as I like to call them, actors, because that's what they are. They're not anchors. But it drew an average of 1.008 million primetime viewers from April to June, a year-over-year decline of 15%. Yeah, it's very interesting that they're continuing to see that their ratings, their viewership are declining, and they're doubling down. It's like they can't read the room. They don't understand what's actually happening. It's like a narcissist that's in the middle of a room talking and talking and talking, not allowing anyone else to speak. You know, they just want to be heard. They need to be heard. They want to spew everything they want. They can't see that everyone is annoyed around them. You know, this is what MSNBC and CNN This is the person they are. They are the narcissistic loudmouth in the middle of the room that constantly have to be the main character. But what is your opinion? What do you think about mainstream media compared to independent journalists? I'd like to know your opinion, maybe who you watch, who you trust more. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'm really happy to see MSNBC and CNN's ratings drop, and as they continue to double down on all their BS that they shout out, you know, it's going to continue to drop as people are starting to be more informed, like, oh, the world is not on fire. We're actually doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. I mean, there's always going to be the people that are going to double down because they can't say, wow, when I looked at this, I thought this was going to happen and I was wrong. Now, you got people that will never, ever say that, and bless their souls, you know. But for the rest of the day, please get outside, enjoy this beautiful, beautiful Monday. Get some good food in you. Get some good food in you. Healthy, you know. Stay away from the snacks, the chips, the pops. But yeah, get outside, enjoy this Monday, do some PT, hydrate, change your socks. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.